We have an agenda packet tonight, a request for a cost of living increase for Vaughn Smith, who is a retired chief of police. He will be receiving a
You're okay.
he will be receiving a pension of $1,540.49. This is up from his current pension, which is $1,521.01. So basically what he is receiving is a cost of living adjustment. The cost of living adjustments are granted every 2 years in accordance with provisions of the borough pension law. And also I'd like to report that Kevin Page, who is a former assistant plant operator for Newville Water and Sewer Authority, in May will reach his retirement age of 65. He will receive a pension of $246.81. It's a low pension. Kevin was only with us less than 10 years, and then he had to take a disability retirement. So this pension benefit again will be $246.81, and that'll be paid for from the non-uniform pension plan. The Borough Council, as you know, at the last meeting, voted to reject all bids received for the North Corporation Street project. We had some discrepancies in those bids, and based upon the advice of the engineer and solicitor, the bids were rejected. We have now modified the scope of the project so that it better fits the funds that we have budgeted. And we will be going out for bid, rebidding the project with a bid opening date of May 25th at 10 a.m. And council may be in a position, based upon the tabulation of those bids received, to make an award on June 1st, 21 at the public work session, which will be at 7 p.m. There's a proposal in your packet tonight, will be discussed under the regular meeting agenda. Martin & Martin Incorporated from Chambersburg has provided an engineering study estimate of the streets that were approved at the last meeting. This would be to establish a local delivery only restriction. The cost of their proposal to do all of the streets is $5,585. I thought it would be much more expensive than that. Typically, these studies run about $1,800 to $1,900 per street. And I know you had at least half a dozen or more streets that you had selected. I think Martin & Martin has given you a very good proposal. They will be using a form that's prescribed by PennDOT. The reason for that is we want to make sure that the engineering study is proper and that it is not going to be subjected to any core challenges. So that is our reason for using the PennDOT form. The tax collector's report for the month of April shows the opening balance of uncollected real estate taxes was $220,593.10. During the month, she collected $139,027.96, and she has a balance outstanding at the end of April, $81,565.14. So the rebate period ends on Friday. We always have a last minute dash of people to make payments before rebate. But I can tell you the lion's share of our taxes, which is the money from the mortgage company, the bank mortgage companies, there are 3 of those, and they have all paid now. All their money is in. You'll probably see a check next week between $10,000 to $20,000. After that, between May and June, payments from the tax collector are issued every other week. And at the end of June, we'll enter into the penalty period. So most of our tax money will come in by the end of June. There is also outstanding on occupational taxes, $7,820. On the fire tax and street lighting tax, outstanding is $9,189.17. And you all should have received a copy of this report by email today. There was a meeting of the Recreation Commission last week, and at that meeting, they discussed a number of contracts for the summer recreation program. And the contracts are basically the Strauss Entertainment and then with other vendors who will be making presentations. There are there are 5 contracts with Strauss Entertainment, and they total $2,375. It's proposed that these contracts will be paid from a general fund allowance of $5,000. So again, we have an allowance of $5,000 and contracts totaling $2,375. There are also 5 program events scheduled between June and July. These 5 programs for $1,675. It proposed that these program costs would be paid from the Newville Area Events Fund. And again, they total $1,675. And Mr. Sinkovich will be presenting these tonight for a vote. There's also a recommendation from the Recreation Commission to accept a proposal from OES Scoreboards of Frederick, Maryland, for a digital scoreboard to be installed at the park. Now, the cost to furnish the scoreboard is $3,320. We are waiting a proposal from the company for the installation cost. We do not have that at this time. This recommendation to accept OES Scoreboard's bid of $3,320 would be subject upon the borough's receipt of ARPA funds, the American Recovery Act funds, which we anticipate receiving in May. And again, Mr. Sinkovich will have more to report on that, on those matters under his report to council tonight. I did continue my search regarding the generator for the new municipal building. And I did get a proposal from Dynatech Generators based in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. And their price for a 100,000 kW generator installed with a cutover switch is $41,110, which is significantly less than the $76,000 price that we had from the other vendor. So shopping around, we've been able to actually negotiate a better price. The borough will be eligible to apply for a Act 101 performance grant. This grant is offered by the PADEP, and it's basically a $10 per ton grant to the borough for materials recycled both commercially and residentially. And the cost of the grant that we will be receiving is $762.60. Typically, we have put this money aside for the Public Works Department for tools things like that that they need. It's not really a large grant, but it offsets some of our equipment and operating costs. Also, a couple other things. During the month, we received a letter from PennDOT regarding the 2019 Municipal Highway Aid Fund account. Two things regarding that letter. The survey of financial interest, that was completed by me on the same day that we received the letter. That's a basic survey form that all municipalities are required. It's about 20 questions. The answers are yes or no. It's very simple. That was completed and sent into PennDOT. We have also completed the 965, MS 965 report and submitted that to PennDOT. So the borough will be receiving in May $37,935.97. That's $37,935.97 coming into our highway aid account. And I do have documentation from the state that they did receive our reports. Moving on to the treasurer's report, the general fund balance at the end of March, $9,915.48, and the rental fund $1,372.94. Street lighting account $2,613.36, fire tax $57,258.71, and our general expense debit card $540.49 was the balance. Newville area events has $5,235.11. The highway aid checking account had a balance of $7,364.88. Payroll checking $15,014.91. The police accounts, the checking account at Belco $11,968.76. The K-9 fund at Belco $3,446.20. The auxiliary police account, $161. The police department debit card has a balance of $316.06. The balance in our pension funds, what a difference a year makes. At this time last year, we were very concerned about where our pension plans were heading. I'm happy to tell you tonight, for the first time, the non-uniform pension plan has passed the $500,000 mark. The balance in the non-uniform plan, $504,257.59. In the police pension plan, $367,664.93. The Joint Veterans Council account for the Hometown Hero banners, $946.63. Capital Improvement Fund, $1,467.61. And the Tax Anticipation Loan Fund has $990.04. A couple things about balances. The Joint Veterans Council, I have not heard from Pat Reed if they are going to do the Hometown Banner project this year. So I went ahead and I did order banners for the light poles uptown. They're basically a generic banner that says we support our troops. And they have the American flag and other symbols on them. I did order those banners. I would hate to see the area without banners for Memorial Day. So we did order banners. They cost the borough $375. Regarding the police department accounts, you heard the treasurer's report and the report of the tax collector. So this week we received a sizable check from our tax collector of $87,000. We also received from the Cumberland County Tax Claim Bureau over $3,000 in unpaid taxes from last year. So this gave us about $90,000 of tax money to deal with. I went back and I talked to the chief to see if there are any issues that the police department needed to address, and I specifically wanted to talk to him about things that we had budgeted money for this year in the police department. One of those items was a laptop, a Dell laptop, to replace one of the patrol car laptops, and that was $2,500. It's part of our capital budget. The chief had asked for money to replace the office chairs. We have some pretty big guys on the police department. When you match up a duty belt and all that, doesn't take long to wear a chair down. So the chief would like to get 3 or 4 new office chairs. He needed parts for his tasers. They were about $400. We needed a set of tires for the SUV. One of the SUVs was $650. The other patrol car just just needed 2 tires. That was $350. So altogether today, we transferred over into the police department debit card $4,500 so that the chief could go ahead and make those purchases. Again, they're all in accordance with the budget. They're items that you have all approved in making up the budget. The one thing we did have a discussion on was the tasers. And the chief emailed me and he noted there were some deficiencies in operating the tasers. And I know it's been a number of years since we've addressed or upgraded the tasers. So I suggested that before we spend money on parts, maybe the chief should look at the cost of replacing tasers. He said he only needs 3 and he was going to get a price on those. And I'm not sure if he'll have it tonight. Maybe it might be at the May meeting. But rather than repair and spend money on repairing the tasers, perhaps council should look at buying 3 new tasers. The officers carry these every day. They're very important. And, you know, I'd like to point out that it's our responsibility as a borough to see that equipment is maintained and operational due to liability concerns. Again, I think the chief will have more to report on that either tonight or at the next meeting. On the list of bills, first of all, does anyone have any questions on the balances or the tax collector's report? Okay, moving on to the list of bills. Coe's Oil Service, $210.48 to replenish our fuel tank for the backhoe and skid loader. Todd Kosher, $182 reimbursement for healthcare copays. Boston Mutual Disability Insurance, $413.61. CNH Industrial Capital, our lease payment for the skid loader, $922.83. And DACO Uniform Rentals, $246.80. Irwin and McKnight Legal Services for the month of March, $1,243.50. Ed Mill Fuels, fuel for the DPW for March, $314.57. U.S. Municipal Supply, new signs for the borough office parking area out in front, $530.25. Timothy S. Barrick, turn signal switch was installed on the Ford dump truck, $175.93. Oak Ridge Equipment, a Mercury switch for the leaf vac, $10.15. Sailor's Market cleaning supplies, paper, goods, and water for the month, $159.69. Shippensburg Awards, new nameplates for the borough secretary, controller, and 2 new planning commission members, $50.88. Commissioners of Cumberland County, the printing of the Cumberland County tax bills, including mailing costs, $157.32. The PA Municipal Code Alliance, zoning officer services for the month of March, $720. Yoast Power Equipment, the annual service of our zero-turn mower, sharpening the blades and so forth, $164.20. JGF funding, leases for the copiers at the police station and borough office, $269. Newville Print Shop, number 10 envelopes for the borough, $60. Advanced Septic Services, the restroom rental for the park, $143. Coic and Associates, Printing of the 1099 forms for 2020, $76.76. Higher information group, color copier surcharges for the borough copier and the police copier, $78.15. Sherwin-Williams, urban crosswalk paint. This is enough paint for the entire summer season, $1,275.40. Timothy Barrett, service the WEMA van, which is a 1993 Ford Aerostar, $738.13. That included inspection. Crime intervention alarm, repair the camera at the traffic light, $433. A.B. Martin roofing supplies, lumber for park repairs on the bleachers, $221.94. Watch guard, a repair of one of the body cams for the police department, $95. CADIC, our annual 2021 membership, $250. Raybold Services, calibration of speed equipment for the police, $60. Total bills for the month, $9,202.59. There were no highway aid bills for the month. Are there any questions about any of the bills?
Fred, the restrooms at the park, I know we have the porta potty down there. Are they not open?
When we've opened the restrooms in the past, we've had them vandalized. And so what we've done since that time is we've issued keys. Public Works Director has a key, Recreation Director has a key, and Mr. Yost has a key. And when someone's at the park, if there's an event, they're open and they can be supervised.
Okay. All right. And you had said that we got 3,000 from the county for last year's property taxes. What's still outstanding?
There's quite a bit. There's probably another $20,000 that's outstanding.
Okay. I thought we were in the 20s
last year. And there's still some outstanding from the previous year, from 2019. So it's probably closer to 25,000.
Any questions for Fred?
I did receive, and I did send it out to all of you, an ordinance from Mr. McKnight regarding the truck turns down at the red light. And so you may want to check your email. If you haven't received it, it should be in your email box. It was sent out at 5:30, and it is the proposed ordinance regarding the turns at the red light. I will note that at the work session meeting coming up next week, the primary topic of discussion will be the renewal of the borough insurance package for 2021-2022. And council will be joined by Patrick Dugan and Paul Puglielli of Brown & Brown Insurance of Lehigh Valley. Most likely, we will be asking council to vote on this Tuesday night because the renewal has to take effect on June 1st. And we want to make sure everything goes off without any problems and we don't have any lapse in coverage. Also, we will be discussing next week the annual 2021 contributions, which include $500 to the John Graham Library, $500 to the Senior Center, Shippensburg EMS, $2,500, Newville EMS, $2,500, and the fire company, $10,000. We will also be discussing the purchase of the used dump truck. This has been budgeted in the capital fund with $8,000 coming out of the general fund and $5,000 from the water fund. Those are the highlights of the work session meeting coming up next week. Just an update on the patrol car. The bank has been notified. They're basically on standby. We're in a holding position, waiting for the VIN number to be released. As soon as Ford Motor company notifies McGuire's Ford of the VIN, we can notify Mid-Penn. We will have a closing. Mid-Penn will pay McGuire's direct, and we will accept delivery. The chief can go and inspect the car when it is done, and if everything is okay, he can accept delivery. We're looking at probably very late in the summer, maybe end of August, early September, before the car is ready. So just an update on that loan. It's been approved, no problems with the bank. We're just waiting on the VIN number.
Any other questions? You guys are a quiet group tonight. Okay. Anything else, Fred?
That's all I have for tonight.
Anything else from you guys?
At the moment.
All right. I guess we'll log off, and we have about a half an hour until the next meeting.
See you then.
I said we'll log off, and you have a half an hour till the next meeting.
Yep. See you then.
Thank
All right.
you.
See ya.